GM friends. Hopefully you can hear me. GM Cutter Dan's doing the Discord weekly hangout hokey pokey. Thank you, GotchiBot. Thank you, Choina.
Hey, JM guys.
GM.
Hey. Yay, Discord changed again. Get used to the new layout again.
Yeah, these updates are like good, but also jarring to a degree. Where it's like, where are the buttons I need?
I mean, if it's good enough for the Nepalese government, it's good enough for Aavegotchi DAO, I guess.
That whole thing is crazy. There's like some, I guess he's English or maybe New Zealander, like an influencer or a guy that was there when the whole thing went down and he was vlogging.
Yeah, I watched a few of his clips.
Yeah, and he's becoming like a hero. It's like, that's cool. Like, that's kind of, please stay alive. But that's awesome to witness something like that.
He said his bike didn't get stolen. There was a water bottle in it or something. Very wholesome. Yeah, it's wild. They apparently they increased the server size of Discord from 2.5 to 25 million. So let's go. We just how many X's would that be? We're at 25K right now, so we got quite a bit of room to go before we max out. GM guys, GM Zbot, Slim, Mr. Seb. How you doing, No Future? How was your week?
The week was good. I was in New York until Tuesday for the demo day for the Hadron co-founder thing, which was really cool. I got to meet some cool founders. I got to go to the MoonPay Ventures office in New York City and shoot there. But they were like really strict, and like when I say strict, they didn't want content of the office coming out. So like I already messed up like at the very beginning. There's a shirt I found in TJ Maxx that it says BDSM. It's a black shirt, but it says Business Development, Sales, and Marketing. So I wear it at conferences, and it gets like attention, like, and it's led to leads for content for me. So it's actually a really effective tool. But the MoonPay Venture homies were way more Web 2 than I thought. So luckily I brought like a button-down shirt to cover it up, but they just kept staring at my shirt when I first got there, like, what is this guy doing? And I was like, all right, let's put
chill with MoonPay. Jeez.
Yeah, so I walked around. I got a Ray-Ban video like showing their office because it was beautiful. And then their security guy kind of caught me at the tail end of the video. He's like, you can't release that. We're like, we need to go through all of it. Like, so I got flown out to shoot. I shot the interviews, but I couldn't really shoot B-roll of the venue. So it was like a weird experience, but it was a lot of fun. So it was a quick trip, and now I'm in the back channels with Goobs trying to beg my way into base camp. So if that were to happen, I probably have.
Yeah. Good luck, bro.
I know. Like we were on the space yesterday with some members, I guess, of like base aligned peeps.
Yeah.
So there's might be a possibility, but if it happens, I'd need to get on a plane today at like 3 p.m. So
right. I mean, it's happening. Yeah. I remember we tried because we got the invite from. I don't want to say Sam. It was who's the other guy? Dave. Dave hooked us up, and he was like, we applied on like the last day that it was like kind of public open, I guess. And Jesse just got in, and then I think he was trying to angle for 1 or 2 more invites for Gotcha Gang, and they were just like, no. But I mean, if it's for media, maybe. I mean, maybe there's an angle you could try. But the guy from yesterday, I haven't listened to that space yet. I heard it was pretty good though. He's apparently Goobs was filling me in. Zach, right? He's from Cat Town, I think, or something related to Cat Town.
Yeah, he was really cool. Apparently, he met some of us at ETH Denver in the previous year. So they were it was really cool to see because in that space, like we're the new kids to base, but they were giving us so much love because they understand the story, they know the OG nature of it, and some of the he was saying that one of the devs associated with Cat Town, or it might have been Barrio, they were like inspired by Aavegotchi.
I think I remember. I don't know where I saw it, but I mean, Cat Town is really familiar, that name, and I remember looking at their page a while ago because someone maybe they reached out or someone mentioned, hey, like Cat Town is on base and they're inspired by Aavegotchi. So that's really cool. Yeah, they might be cooking up something with Aavegotchi pretty soon here, from what I've heard.
Yeah, that would be amazing. It just was a good vibe. Like talking with some of the base creators and kind of seeing their community come together. It feels like we will fit in very well, especially with our gaming experiences, because they were so excited also about the Gotchi Guardians. Steam and the campaign. So I mentioned very
Yeah.
briefly the breadcrumb InfoFi thing because I would love to get more of their like specific creators. Like I think her name is Rachel on Chain. She's going to be at the summit. That might be someone good
Yep.
for Jesse to link up with to make some content.
I
Because
think he's gonna be. He was doing like a spaces with them, and then I think maybe he's gonna come on here in a sec. But I think he's doing something with her. She'll be at base camp as well, from what I have gleaned.
yeah, and then they kept talking about
Base
the
camp's gonna be cool.
yeah. I've looked into it yesterday and I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I kept hearing the legend of Dan or the lore of Dan Hendrickson, and I see him here in the chat. So I just want to say good
I
morning.
see him. I love a good Dan.
Yeah, only Dan's right.
Only Dan. I was apparently the alchemy team has a channel in their Slack or Discord called Only Dan's because they have a very high ratio of Dan's at alchemy. One reason I trust their service so much.
The question is, are they left-handed? Because you're left-handed, right?
I didn't ask that, but that'd be sick. Yeah, I am left-handed. I think I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm a fake lefty. Like some things I feel like I write if I were to write with my right hand and actually learn how to write, I don't know. I feel like I would be better with my right hand for some reason, like writing. Sometimes I'll throw things with my right hand and I feel like it throws better. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I'm a real lefty or not. Who knows? Hard to change now. Dan, the Dan. Never seen that gif. That's a good one. But I know Dan is cooking something up as well. I don't know. That's true. Nadio is also Dan. We need to make an only Dan's here in Aavegotchi, honestly. But he's also cooking something very cool up. And I don't know when he'll be wanting to share that with the community here, but I know it's looking pretty cool. Yeah, I'm definitely ambidextrous. I can play the drums with both hands. I actually learned drums as a lefty, and then I switched over to be a right-handed player. But I can play drums with both hands.
Do you play other instruments? I thought I heard that you play guitar. I know Jesse plays guitar.
No, I play drums mainly. I've wanted to learn like the flute. I think it'd be fun to be able to like the Japanese. What is it in English? It's in Japanese. It's the flute that they play in Kill Bill. Yeah, I know it in Chinese. I know the Chinese name. I forgot the English and the
Shakuhachi
Japanese.
is what Thrax is saying?
The shakuhachi, the bachi. Yeah, when I saw Kill Bill, I was like, man, I love that flute. That's so sick. So I wanted to learn the flute, but I haven't learned it yet. One day.
I bought a flute because my mother, when I was a child, played flute. I played clarinet. And as an adult trying to play flute after being a smoker, like, no. It's like, I'm like, "Ugh, I can't do anything. But I've recently in my studio, because in the background of my studio on my live streams, I have an Fender American Ultra guitar. It's like basically brand new. It's been there for 3 years. It's
Nice.
a $2,100 guitar. Still has the stickers on it, everything. Never play it. So I was like, I don't think anybody realizes what's on the wall. So I'm just going to swap it out to like a $400 Fender. So I did that, and I've been playing it more, and it's like, oh, this thing is so beautiful.
Nice.
Got to play more guitar.
Yeah, my brother played guitar. We would kind of jam when we both lived back at my parents' house. We would he's into Metallica, and I would learn like the drums for Metallica. And obviously Jesse and I we met. We were in a band back in China when he was here, and it's how we both met our wives. So if you want to find your significant other, being in a band really helps.
It does help. It's also that's how you find like business partners because you have to have like literal chemistry and harmony to work together. Drums is different,
Mm,
obviously, but still
true.
there's groove. And some of my best friends were people I played
Oh
music
yeah,
with. Yeah, loved it. And my
totally.
brother is a drummer.
Yeah,
I
me.
picked up guitar first, and then basically everybody in my family started becoming musically more into it as I was like playing in bands and doing stuff like that. He picked up drums, and then at one point we had a studio in the Bronx that we rented together. It was like $750 a month. We split, but we
Sick.
had like a full thing where I would just basically hide in that place like 13 hours a day, making music, playing guitar, just practicing. It was so much fun.
Yeah, those are good times. One day we'll get the band back together at Golden Cross. I also played the didgeridoo for a little bit. I really wanted to learn how to play the didgeridoo, but I couldn't get the breathing right. You got to like rotate your breath while you're playing. It's really hard. I couldn't figure it out. But man, I love that instrument. It's so sick. Yeah, the circular breathing. It's not easy. I tried for days and days, could not pick it up.
I feel like Thrax, but with like a trumpet, where you're like trying to learn how to purse your lips the right way and make it like make a sound, or at
Mm,
least it's not like violin, where it's like at the beginning,
dude,
like if you're a beginner
violin is
on,
rough when you first start.
yeah, you could be a beginner drummer or guitarist, and it'll sound bad, but
Yeah.
violin, it's just like oh,
But yeah, the base camp is starting. I believe it's 2 days from now. Golden Cross will be flying out there. Really excited to see what comes of that. We've been building our connections in the base ecosystem. So I think that'll be really cool to get even more FaceTime with a lot of the people building out there. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing what comes of that. Just so happy that last year Lost Local attended and got a couple connections, but this year having a true founder of the project going, I think will be a big step up and should lead to a lot of good stuff. And now we're actually on base fully. Before we were kind of still in the in the migrating stage. So now we're actually finally moved over. It's a big difference.
It's a big difference. I was just talking about that yesterday. It's like it's different to have like, oh, we're using base in some form or fashion for our own L3, but it's very different to be all in on base and building on base. So, and it's nice that the whole migration is behind us, give or take. I think we're like 99.9 now. The glitter contracts got paused. Have we gone over kind of the
paused and yeah, not yet. I was waiting until a few more people came in, but yeah, we had a good week last week. Glitter contract is paused. Put that announcement out, and I was just reviewing the new stuff. Nothing's really changed, but I just want to make sure that we don't screw anything up with that. So we pulled out all the glitter on Polygon, and there was about, I think it came out to 710 billion glitter. So we made a pretty good dent in the glitter supply over the last couple of years. 3 years of emissions was about 300 billion, because we started at 1 trillion and we're down to about 710 billion. So put a good dent in it, and the remaining 700 or so billion will be emitted over the next 27 years according to the contract. So
Sir,
just making sure that we get all that.
Sounds very bullish. Burning actually had an impact.
Yeah, well, it's not that it's all burned, but it's been emitted. I didn't check how much it's been burned yet. Wouldn't be hard to check that, but no, it's not all burned.
That's like
probably most of it is not burned yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to FOMO for the glitter. But yeah, that's still cool numbers. So just you're saying our 30-year schedule with glitter tokens is moving along nicely. So
yep, so that'll continue on base.
Yeah.
And we also last week just always kind of pushing these little updates. So the Forge was bothering me a lot on mobile. So I've been kind of using the Forge a lot. And I was like, we got the first version of the Forge done, and then Forge team kind of didn't move on it much after that. So we finally got around to pushing some fixes on Forge Mobile. Hopefully that'll be useful for people. And a couple other things, just fixing some stuff in the DApp, kind of clean up. But the big things were just preparing glitter contracts, and I think there was something else big. I'm trying to think about. Fixed a lot of bugs that people had been raising with some stuff on Alchemica, and the lending was kind of bugged. You guys didn't even, no one really realized, but we actually redeployed all of the pocket contracts for all of the Aavegotchis right before rarity farming snapshot last week, because one of our Solidity devs, Timidon, he noticed that the owners of the contracts were it was the deployer address of the diamond, and that was fine with the original pocket, and it's kind of intentional. But with the new pocket, because it's fully EIP was 6551, I think is the non-fungible token bound. It's actually a full token bound NFT wallet. And so we didn't think that it would be proper to have the owner of that contract being the deployer anymore. So now it actually is the owner of the Gotchi, and that ownership transfers on chain with the transfer of the Gotchi. So that was actually like sometimes we'll find these little things, that were fine on previous versions of the contract, and then he notices it, and we're like, oh, actually, yeah, we need to actually fix that before we drop all this rarity farming ghost into people's pockets. Because once we did that, it would have been even more of a pain in the ass to kind of go and fix all the contracts. It would have been basically impossible because they're immutable. So that was kind of a scramble that we were doing last week, and got all the contracts deployed, and then we got all the ghosts deployed in the pockets, and had a nice smooth rarity farming. But it did, if for some of you were kind of affected by the Alchemica not being in your escrow, and a bunch of people made support tickets like, where'd the Alchemica go? It was because it was locked in the original escrow contract. And so when we redeployed them, we had to go back and fish all the Alchemica out of those old escrow contracts and then give it back to the owners. So hopefully that is, we're going to put that to bed and focus on other stuff. But yeah, that's just some of the stuff that we're kind of dealing with in these final stages of the migration. Just assumptions that we might have had on the Polygon version that have changed on the base version, that no one really thinks about that until it becomes like something that we're aware of and need to take care of.
Yeah, good to be proactive and recheck all the assumptions from before. So that's a good example. That's really exciting. Do you see anything that's left to do that maybe some here are waiting for, or?
Two things. One is just getting the glitter contract out, and then two, we also had this PR open with Snapshot to get the strategies updated, and also actually just made a PR with them, or we're submitted a PR to add the new base wearables, because right now it's every time we add wearables, we still need to update the Snapshot strategy. Hopefully we can get that to a point where we don't have to, but just for this round, we're gonna update that. So those are the last two things, and then our DAO will be fully. I know it's been longer than I wanted, but the glitter contract took a while, and then also we were waiting for the base wearables. We don't like to spam the Snapshot guys with a bunch of PRs. So we're trying to wait till everything is ready before we submit that final PR to them. They're always quick, but we just don't want to be like, hey, we just made this PR, and then a day later, hey, could you do this one too? It's just annoying. Mm-hmm. So there's not too much urgency to get the DAO proposals on the base, but I mean, I think it's urgent. So we're just trying to make sure that we don't bug them too much and get all of our eggs in place before we do that. So that'll definitely be, I have no doubts that we will have the snapshot strategies on base by next week. There's no blockers anymore.
Yeah, highly unlikely any surprises emerge. It should be a relatively straightforward one. I just shared the link to the social post about the new base wearable set. If I'm counting days right, we posted this and revealed them shortly after last week's Hangout. So we haven't really had a chance to talk about them much, other than maybe a bit of an alpha leak last week. So we've got 3 wearables, and they're all made through the Forge, and yeah, I think they turned out fantastic. What do we see in terms of, there's none floating around the bazaar or anything yet, right? That would be pretty incredible.
I don't know. Yeah, has anyone seen them in the bazaar?
Oh, there was some. Oh, I understand.
Oh, look, see here.
Somebody should do a GBM so we get some price discovery.
Yeah, I see a few base shirts. No base app, just a bunch of base shirts going for floor prices 10.85 ghosts, and last sold is 8 ghosts, around 8 ghosts. I think someone said that might have been an auction. Pollard hair went for 600. Oh, there we go. Nice.
Shoot.
Yeah, Pollard hair is currently listed for 650.
Okay. Auction it. Let's find out.
Let's find out. Right. And yeah, I mean, it's forgeable. The forge is working fine. Glitter is also something we announced last week. Let me just go back to that. There was a nice kind of summary announcement that I put out. New base wearables. We did Sunset Gotchiverse 2D to finally lock in those cost savings since it wasn't really being used much anymore. And then the big one was Alchemica can be bridged between Polygon and base now via the socket bridge, and that does include glitter. So if you want to use glitter for the forge, you can now use that glitter. I was definitely splurging quite a bit of glitter, making a bunch of sets, and for this pirate thing that we're doing, and also to get a couple base sets to give away, to do some giveaways. Yeah, Zonza, bridge it over. And then didn't mention it in that announcement, but obviously for us to get the glitter contract up and running, we do have to have pools. And the pools for Alchemica, I've mentioned this a few times, but they are live on Aerodrome. So if you go to, I guess, swap, type in Ghost, and I don't know if you can type in FUD. I don't think it doesn't really recognize the contract yet. That's usually a manual process or something. We have to get them listed somewhere. But I think, try this here. If you go and you paste in a contract address, it should be able to find the pair for you. But let me go try that. Usually it works. Let's try with the FUD token. Go to Aerodrome and then paste it in. Yep, FUD. Not much to see that. We still have some work to get them verified and stuff on base scan. It's always a pain in the ass. Every time we add tokens anywhere, we gotta get them updated on base scan or Polygon scan or whatever. So we'll get that done. But they are swappable on Aerodrome. If I go 100 Ghost right now, will get me 795,000 FUD. And it does say high risk, but it's I don't know what's the slippage. There's not a ton of liquidity, but there is some enough for people to swap. So that liquidity should improve once we get the glitter contract up and running as well. So yeah, lots of little things that each of them individually take a few hours. Added together, there's just like a lot of fine tuning, bridging, and migration work. But yeah, we're so close. We're basically at the finish line here. Really excited.
Yeah, it's all coming together, and I feel like the stage is set for both Pixelcraft and the DAO to kind of do whatever feels good and be a little bit more flexible heading into the second half of the year here, like the last quarter, really. So we have, we know where we are. We have our contracts all settled. Everything's kind of set. So I think that's an important
Yeah.
precursor to doing anything new or anything um, just ambitious. So this seems like it was necessary work, and happy to see it almost complete. And I don't know, I think we need to put out like a mega thread that breaks down some of the statistics. I was talking with Timodown about some of this, and it's really quite a unique accomplishment across the entire crypto landscape, like what the team has pulled off here with this migration. I just want to make sure that story is told, because it's not a small matter. Like, this has been months and months. Everybody here knows that because we've all been along for the ride. But it's a months long project, multiple months, that is.
Yeah.
For example, Timodan was telling me, I think, numbers tell a story, and he said almost two ETH have been spent on gas fees, just handling some of the airdrops and migration of the various diamonds. So that's a lot of ETH. That's not cheap.
I remember with our relayer to deploy everything, I put in, I think, 4 ETH. I'm like, bro, please don't blow through this. Like, do all the testing many times with a hard hat local testing, so we don't actually have to like redeploy multiple things in prod or something. It was kind of high stakes. Just the fact that there's could be large amounts of ETH, and also just not having like multiple versions of Aavegotchi deployed on base, like a fake version and a real version would have just been pretty shitty. So he got it done. The whole team did a great job. Just my principle is always like, if it's easily reversible and it's not going to affect a lot, then we can be like less stringent with it in a sense. If it's something that we can roll back, it's not going to be the end of the world. But something like, deploying your whole contracts onto a new network and trying to get it so it looks like it's done well, that's pretty high stakes. So yeah, it was definitely a lot of stress, and finally got it done though. Yeah, the realm parcels that were actually more complex. They took 3 days to get all that metadata loaded in running a very quick script. It's like, Jesus. 5.3 gigs, there's a lot of on-chain metadata there.
That's pretty insane. Yeah, it's quite the accomplishment. So congrats to you and Timodan and Massey, everybody at Pixelcraft that was hands-on with this and got it over the line. So we're closing in now. A couple snapshot strategies, and it's a done and dusted. Maybe some of that will be told by the breadcrumb bakers. So No Future, you're on the line, right? What do you think of the latest campaign for you personally, and what are you seeing with breadcrumb as a whole?
Yeah, I haven't participated as much in this campaign just because I was flying and doing all the other stuff. But we talked about it on Thursday during the space we hosted, and yeah, I think it's going well. He's added all of these new features to the platform, and then is like refining stuff. He said he's done some customization specifically with Aavegotchi. So I would actually love to hear like, what did you guys bring to the table and cause to change within the platform, because they have been evolving pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't know, Goobs, you've been kind of leading this campaign. I don't know if you're convenient to hop up and say anything, but I know Goobs has been doing a lot of great work. He's in the audience. He's been really in the trenches, just watching the videos, giving the points out, and getting people. If you go to the leaderboard, you'll see the smart feed, and if it's tagged with something like gameplay, that means that it's automatically, or not automatically, manually been awarded points by Goobs for making a gameplay video. So that was like one thing that they already kind of had that in their system. I'm not really aware of the specific changes that they made for our campaign specifically, but it's cool to hear that they have done that. I'm sure they have. There's been a couple things, but
Also, Schnitzel
yeah,
Death number 2 right now.
yeah, I was gonna point that out. Schnitzel Death is doing great. We got Schnitzel Death. We got a couple gotchis. Happy. Looking at, we got Nadiel, Nestor, Goobs, Mithra Allegory, all in the top 25. You guys are doing a good job. Future, you're number 46 right now. You got some room to grow there.
I gotta put some effort in.
Just one or two videos will put you kind of in a Steam review. You get 500 points for a Steam review, and then 300 points for a video. And you can do as many videos as you want, as long as they're unique and decent quality.
Yeah, if I did one video and one review, that would push me into top 25. So that might be worth it. Yeah, got to do it. Also, it's just good to do the review, right?
Yeah, it helps the project.
Yeah, it's great. Like seeing like more like I've been seeing on my timeline at least, like specifically Schnitzel Def, some of the other gotchis who are posting up their gameplay footage, and I think that's very powerful. I haven't seen as much noise, it feels like, from this campaign. So I think the refinements have actually worked out really well.
Yeah, they did say they were trying to crack down on like less AI spam, and I think commenting other people's posts. They got rid of that feature because that just led to so much spam. So they're definitely iterating pretty quickly. Well, we're a good like test case for them.
Yeah, and it's really, I was gonna say, it's a really good test case for them with the video stuff, because I've had some people point out, like on other InfoFi leaderboards, like on Wall Chain, on Kaido, I'm like rising up very quickly. But what I've been doing is the show that I host in the morning, Monday through Friday, is called the Hangout. I stream it too. So I clip farm. I will bring up news about the various projects, pull out like a 1-minute clip, and then post that. And it's like, it's so low effort, but it's at least not AI. And I've been like, I'm going to be like, there's a good chance I'm number 1 on 3 different leaderboards across 2 different platforms, which will end up paying out a significant amount of money if I can hold that. And I'm not like posting 50 times a day. I'm just posting 2 videos, maybe 1 video and a post once a day, but on several different projects. It's working. So I think you guys are front running the, all these different InfoFi campaigns and platforms are going to start putting more attention towards video, because it is higher quality like content for a campaign.
Oh yeah, the algo goes crazy for video compared to just like a normal text post. I'm curious, have you found any tools that like help you find, like, scrub your like live stream for clips and are able to just like churn those out for you with decent quality? Because I think that's a cool grind. I've seen a lot of people trying to figure that out.
I do it manually because I'm in the show, I'm talking. So when I'll aim for 3 or 4 clips that I can farm. The thing is, because I have a studio in my house, I fake it a lot too, where I'll throw up the sign, I'll set up the set like it looks like I'm on the Hangout. If no one speaks in the clip, it doesn't matter. And then I'll bring up a post from somebody, read it, and then give like a hot take, but aiming for it to be a minute. So when I'm cutting up a longer stream, a stream like this would be a lot more difficult because there's no visual cue except for the chat. On my stream, I'm bringing up stuff like I'm sharing my screen at the same time. So I'll be able to like kind of scrub through the video very quickly and see, oh, this is where I talked about, the Aavegotchi Gotchi Guardians campaign, because I'll see the gameplay footage there. And then I can cut down and like kind of edit from there.
I love the memes, like the podcast grind, where it's like sometimes you can tell like the person, there's no one else on the other side, but they're like, acting as if it's a podcast. But it works. It gets the clicks. People can't or don't really care if there's someone else listening on the other side or not.
My world is gathering right now. Is this for
Oh yeah. There's a whole probably a lot of the clips you see out there. There's like, they've set it up so it looks like a podcast, but there's no one listening on the other side. There's no other person.
Yeah, I'll do that when if I'm trying to talk about a subject and clip it, and somebody
Yeah.
jumps in or I make a mistake, and I'm like, all right, just remember that. And then as soon as the stream's over, we just keep everything running, and we're like, all right, I'm gonna pretend like I'm talking to this person and make my point.
Yeah.
And the only people that know are the people that listen to the space. So it's like I haven't been called out for it yet. I don't think it's really a big deal, but it's like, all right, yeah,
Nah,
got to use
they
your
don't
tools,
care.
right?
It's a good hack. It's actually a good hack, and I don't think it's not going to go away. It's like a pretty solid workflow hack to just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna make it. I'm just gonna pretend that if you can do it convincingly, that's the thing. Most people, like a lot of people, can't convincingly like talk as if they're talking to someone.
I'm pretty good at talking to myself anyway. So
My girlfriend
Give it
would
a
agree with
try.
you on that for me too. It's cool also because
Get a
it
hot
allows
take.
for demonstrations of like we're in Web3, right? As a content creator, I should be using protocols and dApps, playing the games. So it gives me an easy way that I can just like without having to write a script and spend 2 hours editing, sit down, open a
Yeah.
protocol. I did this with an AI agent that's like a co-pilot for trading. And yesterday I like made a video where I launched a token on Zora through the agent and it worked. And then, the video's done well. I come back today, I got $40 of creator rewards from Zora because in the middle of the night, like 10 Chinese accounts quote tweeted the video of me making the token, and then they started, I guess, trading the token. It ran to a $10,000 market cap, and it's back down to 2,000 now. I didn't sell, but I earned $40 in fees because of some random. Like it was all like in Chinese characters, so I had no idea what they were saying, but it was interesting.
You mentioned wall chain. We're thinking, I think, of doing a follow up campaign or just getting to know their platform as well. I think Golden Cross has something scheduled maybe next week to speak to them. But any thoughts on you mentioned that I think just now?
Yeah, so
No future.
yeah, wall chain. I'm participating in 2 campaigns over there, and I'm ranked really high. So if I can hold on for 4 days for one of them, I'll get $2,200. So it's like let's go of their token.
Sick.
But with wall chain, at first, not a lot of people were using it. It was kind of similar to Cookie.fun, so there was less competition. But since Kaido has changed their algorithm and it's nerfed like
Yeah.
90% of people, everybody's pivoting towards wall chain. So they just had an airdrop for Avantis, and these smaller creators were getting like $3,000 airdrops. So it's gotten a lot more attention, and a lot of the bigger KOLs are now farming it as well as Kaido because if you're into InfoFi, it's good to farm multiple. I mean, you don't want to be talking about everything, but if you're on different platforms, you're not going to get slashed for talking about like on Kaido. If I talk about more than 3 projects, I'll get slashed. But if I talk about 2 projects on Kaido, one on Wallchain, one on Breadcrumb, one on Mindo AI, then I'm good, and I can be on multiple leaderboards. So Wallchain's good. I think I haven't gotten any rewards from any campaigns from it yet, but I've just started really diving in like the last month or so.
Nice. Yeah, I think they got a pretty good list of leaderboards going on. So yeah, definitely, I would love to. I don't know exactly what their budget requirement is, but if it's not too insane, like Kaido was like 150, I think it's pretty pricey. But if it's something fairly reasonable, we're just gonna try out all these different platforms, and it's really cool. Like especially if more other kind of KOLs are coming over, it's a good time to see Aavegotchi. We got a lot going on right now, so
Yeah,
definitely want
and
to
for
hit it while it's
Jesse
hot.
Rally, I interviewed the CEO of GenLayer, who's behind Rally. I think that would be a good campaign too. The way it works is, it's like a decentralized marketplace for content. The way they're setting up is like GenLayer is like the decision layer chain, where basically, like they were talking about it being like an oracle for prediction markets, where it's like 1,000 nodes and they all have to come to consensus on a decision, versus the current model, which is like UMA, and like whales can overtake it. But with Rally, what they allow is it's on their GenLayer testnet right now, and the campaigns are just their campaigns. But basically, if you're a project, you would put out a campaign, and then you would seed the campaign with tokens. And every time somebody submitted a tweet or a post, because I think they're going to go cross-platform eventually, they would submit a transaction on chain, and then their AI will score it immediately, and it'll tell you whether like it's a trash post or if it's good. There's parameters that the teams can set up, and then at the end of the campaign, the payment goes out automatically based on chain. So your score will affect your position on a leaderboard, which will affect your rewards. But there's like a base reward as well for just making the post. So it's interesting. It's in the alpha rush, and a lot of big content creators are jumping into that. The other one that's also decent because you can do smaller campaigns is Yap.market, which is I have their Yap keys and I do some of their campaigns because I get paid Kaido and I've just been stacking the Kaido. Yap.market, I've seen people do campaigns as low as you have to pay people in Kaido though. It's not going to be the native token. Although they did just start doing campaigns in Monad and they're paying out in the Monad token, which I don't know how that's going to work because that token isn't live. So you could create a campaign. I've seen them as cheap as 400 Kaido, which is like $400 or $500. I don't know their fee structure, but the biggest project I've seen do a campaign there was like 11,000 Kaido. And basically what they do is you have to follow the project. The project will give you parameters of what they want for the engagement, like with spotlight requests, like interact with this tweet, make sure you're doing this and this. And then when you submit your tweets, or the AI will see it, you get a base payment based on your previous like 90 days of Kaido history for Yaps. They like kind of work with Kaido in that sense. And then you get an impact payment score. So your score based on the engagement you get off of the content you make will get you additional benefits. So that one's not bad because it has a mix of smaller and larger creators. Because if you're a larger creator and you have a lot of Yaps, your pay will be higher because you're more influential. And it's a good like it's not on the high end, like you have to drop $20,000 into a campaign to run it. I've seen people do test campaigns, like I said, $500-$600. So it might be a good choice.
Yeah, we're gonna try everything. I mean, might as well see what's
Yeah, that's
out
kind
there.
of what
I
I'm
mean, there's
doing. I'm like,
new
wherever there's
stuff
money,
popping up
right?
every day.
Where this is the meta right now, and it's if you do it well, you
Yeah.
can get good attention, especially if you're a hyped VC trash project with no real like utility. It's not going to work. But the projects that, especially post
Yeah.
post TGE projects, do really well because you're an established brand. People know that you're not going to just rug, and there's no token. The
Right.
rewards are real. People get juiced. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't get much realer than Aavegotchi. Been around since 2020.
So we need some hot takes out of this for No Future to chop up and clip, right? And you had a hot take. What was it? Yesterday, I saw it on the feed. It was a little spicy.
Yeah, a little spicy. I don't think No Future is gonna make a
Oh,
clip
I
on
saw
that.
that one. Yeah, like I saw it because I'm in a Polygon chat and they're all talking about it
Yeah.
and they're all very disappointed.
Oh,
Yeah, we're disappointed in Polygon too. So what are you gonna do?
goes both ways. Maybe a more positive one would be, I think Dan, you were considering, like, you just tweeted something out like right before you went live here, right? Has anybody seen it or remarked on it yet?
Oh,
No,
I can't say too much about it, but it's out there.
it's out there. I'm just
All I'll say is I've been flexing my vibe code muscles quite a bit.
it looks like fun.
They're getting, they're getting there. They're getting. I'm how to say it? Yeah, been flexing the vibe coding muscles quite a bit.
No, we gotta find this. Let's drop the link here. Coder Dan.
Yeah, you might have to call me Claude or Dan in a couple weeks or months.
Gonna make more and more
I
sense.
change my name.
What was the name of the dog?
Yeah,
It's what was it from the Reckless?
So good question. I know in Guardians we named it Sparky, but I think
Yeah.
the original name was not Sparky. It was, I liked calling it Wrecked. Everybody had like a different pet name for it. So Wrecked
I
from
don't know what
Reckless.
did it happen? Yeah, I thought it was just in the code. It's called Doggo or Rex Doggo, I think, in the code. But they have a lot of weird names for assets in the Reckless code base.
Rex with Thrax's spelling is good. That's why I liked Wrecked too, because it's almost Rex.
That's cute.
Bingo, Spot, and Rex. Can't go wrong. Oh yeah, Doggo. I remember Zbot naming it Doggo.
Rex Doggo.
Oh, no future. You shared that link. So, yeah, you're having fun, huh, Dan?
Having fun. Yeah, just
Am
like
I crazy, or do you guys, I don't recognize a lot from that image, but I see Coder Dan in there, and I see the doggo, and it definitely looks like the kind of reckless sprites. So, if you guys recall, one of the reasons we were so excited to go ahead and work and fund Reckless in the first place was we get the game, but we also get all the sprites and animations, and we're able to provide those to you guys. So remember a couple of weeks
Did I cut
ago
out?
there was some interest in getting those,
There we go.
and it looks like Dan
Yeah.
is also playing with them here. So we got to get those up on the DApp. But if anybody wants those sprites and stuff, we're kind of we have the animations and the sprites ready to pass out, but I think there's another piece to the puzzle that we're kind of still working with the Reckless guys on, which is like a builder. And
Yeah,
so
the builder never got delivered from them, so we're gonna get that final piece and then gonna get that builder thrown up, and I want to open source it so anyone can use it, and then we'll probably gonna get that updated on the DApp as well to show. We'll get the 3D versions, the 2D versions, I call it the OG PFP, and the 1-to-1 would be really cool to have all those on the website. So yeah, that's a little bit of alpha. Not gonna say too much yet, but I am cooking on something, guys. This migration's done, and I have 3 to 4 good hours of work every day, and they're not going to waste right now.
here's just one of those animations as we experiment. I think I might have shared it last time, I'm not sure, but we've been playing with the sprites and animation assembler. We kind of had them assemble a few here as we test the builder, and we're going to get that builder one way or another. So we will have it soon, and hopefully you guys will be able to create all sorts of cool animations and plug them into games and videos, AI, and maybe something like what Claude or Dan's up to there.
Yeah, they're really useful for any sort of animated kind of 2D game, whether it's side scroller or even kind of like the angle we have here, which is more top down. So yeah, go ahead.
My understanding is it's shipped. You'll have out the box every animation for every wearable for the idle and the running positions. So that's out the box everything. And then once we get all of that delivered, we as a DAO and as Pixelcare, we can decide how much to prioritize making new animations if that's something that is desired. But yeah, that'll come right out the box. You'll be able to have those for every single wearable. I think that's Stanley, but he's just missing the hairpiece.
Right.
Thrown off. I'm like, where's the hair?
Where's the hair? So yeah, guys, we're cooking some stuff. Not too much to share yet, but it's going to be really interesting and really cool when it's a little bit further along. Oh, how about we jump into the DAO call? There's not too much to go over tonight. I know Fifu is going to come up, talk about what he's been doing in the DApp.